Okay, so if you've been shopping for a smart TV lately, or maybe even just one of those little streaming dongles, you have almost certainly run into this. Well, it's a really confusing naming thing. Google TV versus Android TV.
Yeah, it's a classic tech branding puzzle, isn't it? They sound so similar.
Exactly. And they both use Google stuff, but the experience you get is totally different depending on which one your device has. It's confusing.
It really is. And often, the person selling it might not even be clear on the difference themselves.
Right.
But the distinction is actually pretty important, especially if you just want to find something to watch easily without juggling 5 different apps.
Yeah.
What we're looking at isn't just like version 1 versus version 2. It's a bigger shift in thinking from apps first to content first.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive then. Let's cut through that confusion. We need to unpack exactly how these two systems relate to each other, technically. And, crucially, highlight the specific features that make Google TV feel so different. So you, the listener, walk away knowing, okay, this platform is the one for me.
Sounds good. And to do that, we really have to start at the beginning. Lay the groundwork. You need to understand what Android TV was trying to do first before we get to the evolution.
Makes sense. So the foundation, Android TV. This was Google's first real swing at a dedicated OS for the big screen, yeah.
That's right. Launched way back in 2014. If you've got a slightly older smart TV, maybe a Sony TCL Hisense, or a streaming box like the NVIDIA Shield.
Still love my Shield.
It's a great box.
Yeah.
Chances are you're running Android TV, and it's solid. It's reliable. It's built right on top of the core Android operating system, the same one that powers billions of phones.
So it brings that whole Google ecosystem.
Exactly. Full Google Play Store for apps, Google Assistant built in for voice commands, and really importantly, Chromecast built in.
Ah, the casting. Yeah.
So you could just zap content from your phone or your browser straight to the TV. Seamless.
And visually, what does it look like? If I turn on an Android TV device, what's the signature look?
Simplicity, really. And it's very app-focused. It uses this horizontal, row-based layout.
Like shelves?
Yeah, think of it like shelves. Top shelf might be your favorite apps. Then below that, you might get rows of suggested content. But they're suggestions from specific apps. Like, here's a row from Netflix. Here's one from YouTube.
So you still have to kind of dive into the app to browse properly.
Pretty much. The starting point is usually the app itself. That's the core Android TV experience.
Okay, baseline established. Now let's jump forward. Google TV arrives, and this is where, as you said, people get tripped up. They think, okay, new name, must be the replacement.
And that's the single most critical thing to get straight. Google TV is not a replacement OS for Android TV.
Right, not a replacement. So what is it then, if it's running on the same devices sometimes, or newer ones?
It's an evolution, yes. But maybe think of it like this. Android TV is the powerful, reliable engine in your car. Does the job, runs everything.
Okay.
Google TV is like a brand new, super slick, highly customized dashboard and infotainment system that's been built right on top of that existing engine.
Ah, I like that analogy. So the underlying machinery, the OS handling the apps and security and stuff, that's still Android TV.
Correct. Under the hood, it's Android TV.
But the part you see and interact with every day, the interface, the presentation, how you find things, that's Google TV. And that's completely different.
Precisely. Google TV debuted back in 2020. I think the Chromecast with Google TV was the first device. And its whole design goal was different. It was laser focused on solving that problem of, well, too many streaming services, too hard to find anything. Content overload.
Streaming paralysis. It's real.
It really is. So Google TV keeps the core stuff apps, assistant, casting, but it flips the focus.
Yeah.
Away from launching an app towards finding a show or a movie.
Okay, let's unpack this then. This move from engine to dashboard, because this is where the user experience really changes, right? When you're comparing two TVs side by side, one Android, one Google, what are the key differences you'll actually notice? Let's start with the most obvious, the user interface.
Yeah, the visual change it's dramatic. Android TV, like we said, simple rows, app icons dominate. Google TV is much more modern looking. It's graphical. It puts content front and center. Instead of mostly app icons, you get these clean tabs across the top.
The For You, movies, shows, apps, library tabs?
Exactly. It feels less like a system menu you have to navigate and more like a personalized homepage from a really good streaming service itself.
And that structure, those tabs, that directly enables the biggest aha moment, doesn't it? Which is the content discovery and recommendations. On my old Android TV, if I wanted, say, a new sci-fi movie, I'd have to open Netflix, browse around, close it, open Prime Video, browse around.
The endless hop.
Yeah.
Such a pain.
How does Google TV fix that?
This is basically Google TV's superpower. It tackles that fragmentation problem directly, that main For You tab. It uses pretty sophisticated machine learning. It learns what you watch across the whole household potentially, and then it aggregates personalized recommendations from all the streaming services you subscribe to.
All of them in one place.
All in one unified feed. And it even includes recommendations for stuff on services you don't subscribe to, clearly marking where you could watch it if you did sign up or rent it.
Wow. Okay. So if I pay for, I don't know, 4 different services, I don't have to jump between them anymore to see what's new or recommended for me.
Nope. Google TV acts like your personal content concierge. It pulls it all together.
That genuinely sounds like it solves streaming fatigue.
It goes a long way, yeah. And it's not just recommendations. If you search for a specific movie or show, Google TV checks its availability across all your linked apps. It'll tell you, hey, this is on HBO Max included with your subscription, or you can rent it here on YouTube, or it's only on Paramount Plus. Want to subscribe?
That's huge. Android TV just can't do that level of cross-service searching.
Not really. Its recommendations and search are much more siloed within each app's ecosystem. Much more basic compared to this.
Okay, that centralized discovery is massive. But there's another feature tied into this that I think is often overlooked. The universal watch list. How does that work?
Right. Think about how we normally track stuff we want to watch. You read a review online, maybe on your laptop.
Yeah.
You think, oh, I got to watch that. So you maybe email yourself the name or jot it down in a note.
Or text yourself, hoping you remember what the typo meant later. Guilty.
Exactly. It's super clunky.
Yeah.
Google TV streamlines that whole workflow. The universal watch list is cross-device. So you could be browsing Google search on your phone, see a movie result, and there's a little watch list button next to it.
Okay.
You tap that. Then later, you sit down on your couch, turn on your Google TV device, go to the library tab.
Yeah.
And that movie's just there waiting for you.
Oh, that's really neat. So it syncs automatically.
Yep. From phone, computer, tablet,
Yeah.
right to the TV watch list. Android TV just doesn't have that kind of built-in cross-platform integration.
That's a genuine quality of life improvement right there. Okay, what about voice control? Google Assistant. Both platforms have it.
They do.
But you mentioned Google TV's Assistant is, like, smarter.
It feels smarter because it has access to that richer aggregated content layer we've been talking about. It has more context. So on Android TV, Assistant is great for basic stuff. Open Netflix, pause a movie, what's the weather?
Standard smart speaker commands.
Pretty much. But on Google TV, because the system understands what content is available across all your services and knows your viewing history.
Ah, so you can ask it more complex things.
Exactly. You can ask things like, show me sci-fi thrillers I haven't finished yet. Or what comedies starring Tom Hanks are available on my subscriptions. Or even just, what should I watch tonight? And it can give you genuinely tailored results based on your actual profile and available content, which is way beyond the basic app launching or simple search on Android TV.
Okay, that's a significant upgrade. And the last big one, especially for anyone sharing a TV, profiles.
Yes. Finally, this was a huge omission on Android TV for years. Google TV introduced proper native profile support. So different people in the household, mom, dad, kids can have their own separate viewing spaces.
Separate watch lists, separate recommendations.
Completely separate. Separate watch lists, separate viewing history, feeding the algorithm, and therefore totally different personalized recommendations in their For You tab.
Which Android TV generally lacks. You're all just lumped into one profile.
Yeah, for the most part, Android TV operates under one main Google account, leading to the generic blended recommendations for the whole household. Google TV fixes that.
Okay, it really sounds like Google TV took that solid Android TV engine and just wrapped it in this much smarter, much more user-friendly layer designed for how we actually watch stuff now.
That's a really good way to put it. Yeah, designed to tackle the chaos of the streaming age.
Right. Now, let's shift to the practical side. This is important for listeners thinking about buying or wondering about their current setup. If I have an Android TV from, say, 2019, why can't I just download this cool new Google TV interface? if it's built on the same foundation?
That is the million-dollar question for existing owners, isn't it? And it comes down to hardware, mostly.
Hardware? How so?
Well, while the underlying Android OS is efficient, that slick, graphical, content-heavy Google TV interface, constantly pulling recommendations, showing rich visuals, it just demands a bit more processing power, more RAM.
Ah, okay. So it needs slightly beefier specs to run smoothly.
Exactly. It runs best on newer hardware that was specifically designed with Google TV in mind. On older chips, designed just for the simpler Android TV interface, it might feel, laggy, sluggish.
Even if the apps themselves, like Netflix, run okay.
Yeah, the core apps might be fine, but navigating the main Google TV interface, scrolling through those dynamic recommendations, it might just not be a great experience on underpowered hardware.
And that's why you can't just install it yourself.
Right. And it's why manufacturers have to make a specific decision to update an older Android TV model to Google TV. They have to test it, certify that it runs well on that specific older hardware.
And let's be honest, for many older models, especially budget ones, they're just not going to invest the time and money to do that certification.
That's often the case, yeah. It's easier for them to push you towards buying a new device that comes with Google TV pre-installed and is guaranteed to run it well.
So the takeaway for listeners is, if your device came with Android TV, it will likely stay Android TV forever unless the manufacturer issues a very specific major OS update, which is pretty rare.
That's the safest assumption, yes. Now, importantly, app compatibility is the same. Both platforms access the exact same Google Play Store for Android TV apps.
Okay, same apps. Got it.
But that user experience layer, the dashboard, that's generally fixed based on what the device shipped with or what the manufacturer decides to support later.
Okay, so this brings us right to the decision point. If I'm standing in the store today or browsing online, looking at a new TV or streaming stick, how do I choose? Google TV or Android TV?
If you are buying new hardware now, sort of 2024 onwards, the default recommendation is almost always Google TV. Choose Google TV if that cross-service content discovery is important to you. If you really value personalized recommendations tailored to you. If you want that slick universal watch list feature. Or, frankly, if you just prefer a more modern, intuitive interface.
It sounds like the premium experience, basically.
It is, generally speaking.
And when might Android TV still make sense?
Well, maybe if you genuinely prefer that simpler app grid layout, perhaps you only subscribe to one or two services anyway, so the aggregation isn't a huge benefit for you. Or more likely, if you're looking at significantly older models on clearance or very entry-level budget TVs where manufacturers might still be using the less demanding Android TV system to keep costs down.
So it still works, it's still supported, gets security updates.
Absolutely. Android TV is still a perfectly functional, capable platform. It's not going away overnight. It will continue to power millions of devices and receive necessary updates for years.
But the direction of travel is clear.
Unquestionably. Google TV is the future standard for Google's smart TV efforts. It offers real, tangible improvements that address common frustrations with modern streaming. The two platforms will coexist for a while, but the day-to-day experience is, it's night day, really.
Okay, so let's just summarize that one last time for everyone. Android TV, that's the solid, reliable operating system, the engine, Google TV. That's the smart, personalized, content-focused interface, the dashboard built right on top of that engine. And the crucial difference for you is how Google TV changes the way you find stuff. It shifts the focus away from opening individual apps towards discovering what you actually want to watch right now, regardless of where it lives.
Perfectly put. And that capability, that shift, it leads to a kind of interesting final thought for you to maybe mull over.
Yeah.
This move away from focusing on the app, the Android TV way, towards focusing on the content itself, aggregated by the platform, the Google TV way.
Yeah.
How does that fundamentally change our relationship with the streaming services themselves?
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. If Google TV becomes incredibly good at being your single gateway, that For You tab knows exactly what you want to watch next, pulling options from Netflix, Disney+, Hulu, everything.
Yeah.
Does the brand loyalty you feel toward, say, Netflix originals or the Disney Plus brand itself start to weaken?
Yeah.
If your favorite show is just presented as one algorithmically chosen tile among 20 others surfaced by Google.
Does the original service, the source, become less important in your mind?
Exactly. Does your primary loyalty shift from the streaming service to the discovery platform? Because whoever controls discovery arguably controls the viewer's time and attention.
That's actually a really fascinating point. Centralized discovery versus brand identity.
Something to think about next time you fire up the TV.